Hello, my name is Keoni Hall. This is my presentation of learning. So over this past semester, I improved on a new set of skills. These skills were time management, group work, public speaking, analyzing information, and creativity. So the first skill was my time management skills were improved, and I feel that this skill is very important because it's a skill that I think will carry you on through life, even after you're done with high school, and it's just really important to learn. And so I portrayed this skill with my group when we went on our field trip to Home Depot. We had to prioritize and figure out what we needed now and what we could get later. And so some troubles we had with this is that they didn't have all of the stuff that we needed. So I think next time I'd probably be more prepared for unexpected things and try and get stuff that we could have gotten instead of sitting around and kind of just yelling at each other. My next skill was group work, and I think that this skill is really important also, just to be able to work with different people. And what I learned from this particular project, my work table, is that you don't necessarily work the best with your friends because in the beginning Mr. Kaneko actually asked me which group I'd rather go with, and I said I'd rather go with my friends. And it turned out that we like to argue a lot because we're kind of comfortable around each other, and we feel comfortable yelling at each other, and we tend to fool around a lot and not get a lot done and everything. But what I did learn is, even since we were friends, we were comfortable around each other, so when one of us actually decided to do some work, we would actually work efficiently and everything. And I think personally I should actually become more of a team player, because in the beginning I was kind of sitting in the corner, kind of fooling around, not really doing my work. And I think that I should do actually more than what's asked of me, because for the most part I kind of just waited for them to give me something to do, and then I'd do it, or I just would wait for them to, or Mr. Kaneko to tell me what to do. But I should probably just keep working on doing it by myself. Okay, my public speaking skills were definitely improved. I think that this is another very important life skill, because I think it's important that you're able to communicate your opinions and thoughts to people that you don't necessarily know. And during this project, our Heroes project, it was a project where after the Odyssey, we had to present this piece, and we had to choose a personal hero of ours. And then we had a photo gallery, and everyone's parents came, and some of the school faculty came to come watch us, and we had to present everything in front of everybody. And I just think that speaking in front of all those people definitely boosted my confidence and everything. It made me a lot more comfortable speaking to people, and just being able to communicate with people I don't necessarily know completely. And this skill, analyzing information, I was never really good at analyzing information. I kind of, whenever you told me to look for something, I kind of just Google it and kind of click on the first link and try and figure out if that was okay or not. But for this particular infograph, our worm bin and work table, there was a part where we had to list the nitrogen cycle and the worm composting, like the biology of the worm and everything. And I had to like go and I took notes on like the biology of the worms in the worm bin, and I also had to like kind of just get a broader understanding on the nitrogen cycle because of this project. And because I hadn't really taken notes the first time and I kind of procrastinated a little bit, I had to kind of just look at all the stuff that was really important and what I needed to make sure I mentioned, and there was a lot of information on it, so I had to decide what was important and what was kind of irrelevant. And some problems I had with this project was I did this infograph by myself because my group was doing something else. They were working on some other project that we needed to get done. And I think that I could probably improve on not procrastinating as much and maybe just doing it when I'm supposed to and not when someone reminds me. Okay, my creativity skills definitely improved earlier in this year when we read this book during the summer called The Alchemist, and Mrs. Calabro had us make an infograph, and I believe this is like one of our first ones, and I still had no idea what an infograph was. I was still kind of confused on what I was supposed to do, but I learned that it's like just a more creative and fun way to list information and like portray it on like a piece of paper and make it easier for someone to like understand it. And like since this was like I think it was the first one or one of the first ones, still kind of new, so I actually had to like think this through on how I wanted to portray it. And what happened was my infograph, it was a pyramid, and I divided it into 10 separate pieces, and I drew pictures inside each piece, which was supposed to signify like the 10 really big events that happened in the book. And overall, this past semester, I really think that these skills are more important that I learned them now, because like during like regular school, I kind of just never like would pay attention, and my time management would be not as good. I'd procrastinate a lot because I didn't have as many projects, and so I would probably just do it like the night before, and it wouldn't turn out as good. And also my group work, for the most part, like for these other years since I wasn't in MPX, I never got the chance really to work in a group as often. I probably have maybe one group project every once in a while, and like this time I actually did have a lot, and I found out that when you don't do your work, your group kind of tends to hate on you for the rest of the year, and it's kind of irritating sometimes, and it's, yeah. And then my public speaking, like I've always been kind of not too shy talking in front of everybody, but like now, like it's just I'm more confident and I'm more comfortable speaking in front of everyone. And your creativity again, I was never the most creative child. I kind of didn't like drawing stuff, or I didn't like expressing myself through creative things, but because of the infographics, it's not just like about being creative, it's about finding like creative ways to portray different information. Okay. Thank you.
Good. Questions, comments, guys? Question or comments? We have to ask him questions or comment. We have to.
When did you feel your time management really improved during the semester?
Well, I think that after my Home Depot field trip is when not just my time management but my group's time management kind of kicked in, because we didn't actually do too well with that skill, so we kind of learned we have problems in this area and we need to fix it. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Do you think that overall MPX made you a better person?
A better person?
Good question.
I think so. I mean, I think that MPX, it's just a different social environment, and so you can. I've just become like a little bit more social with everyone, and it's easier to talk to everyone. Yes.
Okay, how do you think your creativity, like, you know how you said, like, the alchemist infographic, like, brought your creativity out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you think that was different than different projects that you've done in the past? Like,
Well, in the past, I kind of wasn't really looking at it as like a real type of like creative like thing. Like I think like during our science fair stuff, I kind of more so had like a whole theme and everything. Like I didn't really have too much creative influence. I kind of just had my facts and I kind of had my fonts just neatly done and everything was in a right place and everything. But for this like infograph, I actually had to like make it creative and kind of fun to look at.
What are two things you need to continue to work on in second semester?
I need to work on my group work still, because like my team reminds me a lot, and I also need to work on a lot of my time management, because I still turn in like some homework and like blog posts in late and stuff.
Okay. Any more questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much.